Big news, listeners. LoveLitCon 2026 is coming, and romance book lovers, this is the event of your dreams.
Yes, happening February 13th through the 15th in San Diego. It's a full weekend of panels, parties, authors, narrators, and nonstop bookish joy.
Thanks to LoveLitCon, we've got a special promo code just for you. Use promo code KH9925 at checkout for $25 off your ticket. Again, the promo code is KH9925. Who wouldn't want to save $25? You could use that to buy books.
Yes.
So make bookish memories with your fellow romance fans at LoveLitCon, February 13th through the 15th in San Diego.
Mark your calendars. Before we begin today's episode, please be advised that we'll be discussing themes of terminal illness, grief, and loss as portrayed in The Fault in Our Stars. If these topics are sensitive or difficult for you, please take care of your mental health first. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Page to Picture, where we turn the pages of beloved books and explore how they unfold on screen. I am your host, Kim.
And I am your host, Tiff. And today we are stepping into a story that broke one of our hearts and made one of us ugly cry, both in print and in theater. That's right. We are talking about The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, who I want to just say, I love John Green. I don't know why, but when I was younger and his books were coming out like nonstop, like
Correct.
he was like Brandon Sanderson or something, he just kept bringing books out. I was like, oh my God, I love this author. And yeah, and then I never picked up a book in adulthood by him again. And so picking up a John Green book again is like,
did you go back in time?
I did. And I was like,
God.
I know why I love this author. I love the way he writes. I love his world building. I love the characters he creates. And yeah. Just wanted to say that. So, John Green, if you're watching, I would love like a signed copy on a Post-it or something. Not a book because I have a lot of your books already, but I would love like a thumbs up or something. I don't know.
Just heart the post.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we are diving into Hazel and Gus's journey, their wit, their romance, and the big
existential questions.
The big existential questions and how their story transitioned from John Green's page to the big screen.
Yes. But before we dive into all of the loveliness of John Green, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I actually want to talk to you about something.
What is it?
I am on, I don't know what is happening, but okay. So, I love Milo Manheim, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like heavily obsessed, like obsessed, like this is a younger person. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But then I also watch, what is it called? The Masked Singer.
Yes.
And spoiler alert for those who have not watched The Masked Singer, one of the singers was Meg Donnelly, who sings and acts in a movie called Zombies with Milo Manheim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, she should have won, as well as Andy Grammer. Andy Grammer was second place. Excuse me, I was so
love
upset.
Andy Grammer.
But I have been, and I don't know how it started, but I was like randomly on TikTok, and a ballad version of a song that they sang in Zombies, which is a Disney Channel Plus original movies, called Someday, was on TikTok. And the way they sang it, I was like, fell in love. And I had to add both those songs, the one from the movie and the ballad, onto my playlist. And I have been listening to it on repeat. Like a girl and a zombie.
I hate you so much.
Do you know that song?
Don't, because I don't watch. I know what it is.
Pull it up. Pull up the YouTube.
I'm afraid to pull up YouTube because every time I do, you guys, like, I out myself with what you
said. Well, pull it up first, type it up, and then share your screen.
Okay. Well, you'll see it on the side. Like,
I'll snip it. Calm down.
Okay, what am I looking up? The Zombies ballad version? You want me to put ballad version?
Someday ballad. Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim. I'm like heavily obsessed with this song. It's so unhealthy. I was like, I have to tell Tiff. I'm so obsessed.
The way that they look, and
do they look like zombies or are they sitting down?
One of them looks like a zombie.
Milo. He's the zombie. Wait, is this the ballad? Okay.
You
Should we get this?
heard
Okay.
me someday
Someday
in the
in
broad
broad
daylight.
daylight. Okay, get out of it.
I have questions because
No, wait, let me tell you this too. I've never in my entire life watched any of the movies.
so how did you come across this?
Because I'm obsessed with Milo Manheim and I love Masked Singer, which she was just in Masked Singer. So together, all my posts led me to the one song. I'm so obsessed to the point where Ezra was like, "Is this that Zombies movie song?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Should we watch it?" I was like, "I kind of want to."
Okay.
A
Well, I love that for
girl and
you.
a zombie. Tell me that song isn't catchy as fuck.
It reminds me of High School Musical.
Yeah, you know, High School Musical, Descendants, like
I haven't seen Descendants.
the first two are good. There's a lot though. Anyway, that's like the life I'm living right now.
I love that for you.
Thank you. But how are you?
I'm fine. Since we're on the topic of like obsessed over songs, I have been listening to, other than Hosier, because I live, breathe, cry,
Correct.
obsess over Hosier, and I love him so much. Hosier, if you're listening,
You praising up.
yes, listen, if there's one thing that you can get me for any sort of gift, it's either anything Hosier or anything that's related to The Hobbit. So
I'm gonna get you like a cutout boards of each character, but I'm gonna tape Hosier's face on.
no, don't do that. They're beautiful in their own way. You have to give me a cutout of Hosier and three or four cutouts of I'm gonna out myself how much I love these
Keely?
people. Killy, Durin,
Mhm.
Philly, which is his brother,
Mhm.
Thorin Oakenshield, his uncle. We keep it in the family.
Ew.
And,
Oh my
and
god.
Michael, listen,
No judgment because I would have Draco and his zaddy at the same time.
hold on, you stop. I wasn't talking about the same time. But thank you.
I can't wait for our August episode then.
The listeners are going to agree with me. So I'm going to show you the uncle first because I feel like that'll just make it make sense to you.
You should write a fanfic.
I'm not going to write a fanfic
Why?
because then I'll just live in fan fiction. And I need
You already do.
I know, but I need to. Like, look at this. You're going to sit here and tell me this man isn't beautiful?
Oh god, look at this one right here. The dark the one that yeah, you already can see it.
I know. I love him so much. There's just something about him. And
Oh my
obviously there's
God.
Billy. Okay.
Right.
We don't talk about
Calm down.
we don't talk about the nose, but I can live with it, okay? Gorgeous. And then we have his brother, which is like love him. Look at
Oh, look at him. Look at him.
love him.
Look at the one with the bow tie.
I know. I love it. I love it. And then we have,
of course, naturally. That one I could get on board all day. Him, Draco, and Lucius.
I hate you, all the blondes. And then look at we okay, make it 5 because I want a cutout of Lee Pace as Thranduil.
Oh yeah, you do.
He
5
is
blondes.
the sassiest.
5 blondes and a brunette is what we'll call it.
That's the book. 5 blondes and a brunette. Anyways, so I've been obsessed with them. I don't know how I got on that topic. Same as last week. But I'm obsessed with Party for You by Charlie XCX, that song.
Oh, I've heard that on TikTok.
I can't stop listening to it. There's something about that song where I'm like, I love it. I can think of so many scenarios of like how that song would play out in real life with 2 people.
That's
and
exactly
I'm like,
how I feel when I listen to Someday by
okay. They're not You're like, I know the perfect zombie that could match with this song.
Perfect.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I'm fine. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
know.
here.
Yeah, we're here.
Cool.
We're vibing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway.
Okay.
Let's kick things off with some background on the book. So the book title is called The Fault in Our Stars. The author is John Green. And this book came out January 10th, 2012. So let me just preface by saying all of these books that we're doing right now came out around the time when I was like a junior in high school and like or like going on to senior in high school. They're like the hardest times of my life as a teenager.
And I was in my 20s.
Yeah. They were like, I was like in my depression era. Like,
correct.
Like sad girl vibes. I listened to a lot of emo rock music. Kim can definitely attest to that. Okay. And so like these books, when they came out and I was reading them, I feel like I felt so like attached to these books. And like I was like, they just get me. but really I was just sad and the stories were just sad, and so
It
I had
vibed. Yeah.
I just didn't have I didn't really have a connection. Now that I'm reading them as an adult, I was like, why did I?
Which is kind of crazy because I never read any of these books. Obviously, I was in my 20s, but I never read any of these books, and I read them now for this podcast, and I am so obsessed.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
It's funny. It's like a like a flip,
Yeah.
because and not that I don't love them. I do love these stories, but they're just, I don't feel an emotional connection to them anymore, because maybe because they're all teenagers and I was a teenager when they came out, but yeah. But anyways, so the genre is young adult contemporary romance / tragedy, which we
Correct.
love tragedies.
Yes.
I live for them. The tropes are star-crossed lovers, sick kid romance, bittersweet first love, philosophical teens, found family / support group bonding, and live like you're dying theme.
Love it.
We love it. So this is the blurb. So 16-year-old Hazel Grace Lancaster is living with terminal cancer. Her life changes when she meets Augustus Waters, a charming and witty survivor in remission, at a support group. What begins as friendship slowly grows into a profound, life-altering romance as the two grapple with love, loss, and the desire to leave a lasting mark on the world. Together, they embark on a journey to meet a reclusive author and search for meaning amid the chaos of illness and mortality.
Ooh.
Heavy,
What a
heavy
blurb.
stuff.
So facts about the movie. The title is The Fault in Our Stars. Director is Josh Boone. This movie released June 6, 2014. And the main cast, again, we have a very stacked cast. As Hazel Grace Lancaster, it is Shailene Woodley. As Augustus Waters, it is Ansel Elgort, which Jose told me like he's canceled. So
He is.
but did you
I
know
don't
he
know.
recently like resurfaced?
No.
He like for the first like I was doing my research and he like all of a sudden like resurfaced to walk some kind of red carpet.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that he's canceled for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
it was around
I
the
was
time
like,
when
that's
Baby Driver came
yeah,
out.
that's what Jose said. I was
Yeah,
like,
and so
I was like, oh, that's kind of sad because
yeah,
I
it
really
is kinda
enjoy
sad.
his acting.
I mean, I could live without it.
Yeah, like I'm not like I'm here for him
Like,
for
he's not
life.
some like Miles Teller.
Correct. Yeah, correct. As Isaac, you have Nat Wolf, who, to be honest, I kept
I love
confusing
Nat
him
Wolf.
with his brother.
Huh?
I kept confusing him with his brother from Jumanji.
Yeah.
Do you know his brother?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were in the Naked Brothers band.
Yeah, I was showing Jose. I was like,
I
look, this is
love
a
them.
Nickelodeon show.
They
And
called the Naked
we were
Brothers
like,
band.
how do we know the difference? I was like, one has a mole here and one has a mole here. That's how
Yep,
you know the difference.
that's the one.
So
and I love both of them.
Nat Wolf is the one who has the mole here.
Yes.
Okay, as Franny Lancaster, which is Hazel's mom, you have Laura Dern. I feel like we keep hitting Laura Dern.
Really? Yeah, she's like,
Okay, I was surprised. Hello.
she's like out there.
As Michael Lancaster, which is Hazel's dad, you have Sam Trammell, and as Peter Van Houten, it is Willem Dafoe.
Love me some Willem Dafoe. When I watched this movie, I totally forgot he was in it. And I said, oh my God, I love Willem Dafoe. I could watch anything with him in it and be like,
I love him in Spider-Man. When I always say this to Jose in the newer Spider-Man, where he's always like, hello, Peter. Like, hello, Peter. As the Green Goblin. Like, I love it.
He's such an amazing actor. Willem Dafoe, if you're watching this, I'm just making shout outs
Willem
to everyone.
Dafoe, John Green, Laura Dern,
listen,
Shailene
Lee
Woodley,
Pace, if you're watching this,
Orlando Bloom,
hit a girl up.
With all of that being said, this is our segment called The Hathaway Connection, where we are just a tad bit obsessed with Anne Hathaway, and we noticed back in season 1 of our podcast how a lot of actors can connect to Anne Hathaway, similar to 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. So, Tiff, with that being said, why don't you pick 3 of the actors we listed, and I will tell you how they connect to Anne Hathaway.
Okay, so let's do Shailene Woodley.
Okay. Shailene Woodley was in Big Little Lies with Reese Witherspoon, or without her spoon. And
if you don't know, that
callback
joke comes to the first episode. The very, very first episode that we ever recorded.
Anyway, and Reese was in This Means War with I can't even say again, you guys, I can't. Reese,
say it. Say it with your chest.
She was in This Means More with Chris, allegedly no lips. Pine,
He has no lips.
who was in Princess Diaries 2 with Anne
With
Hathaway.
Hathaway.
Chris,
Chris-
allegedly no lips Pine.
Christopherson Pine Tree has no lips. It's not allegedly.
It's allegedly to me.
I hate you.
Pick another one.
Okay, let's do Willem Dafoe.
Okay. William Dafoe was in The French Dispatch with Timothée Chalamet.
Ding dong.
Who was in this this episode is so unhinged. I can't even.
Dude,
I don't know. It's just
why do you sound like that? Like you just ate the best like dip in your life.
that, you know that like cake? It's like a ding dong
From Hostess. You just took a bite of that and you said,
This is the most unhinged episode yet. Oh my god. Okay.
it's because I've only had like 3 hours of sleep.
I know. We've been at it since I was up at 6:30 this morning.
I went to bed at 3 a.m. and I woke up at 6.
Oh my god. Okay, wait.
Okay.
So
Timothée Chalamet was where?
he was in Interstellar.
Okay, with Anne Hathaway.
Pick another. Pick another.
Let's.
I'm keeping all this in the podcast also. So
That's fair.
Mm.
Let's do Ansel.
Okay.
What is that mug?
It's
Look at what mine is.
it's my Jasmine. In my All right, that makes sense.
It's
my
accurate.
it's my Jasmine mug.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh.
Okay,
I wanted to cry and that was it.
Ansel Elgort was in Billionaire Boys Club with Emma Roberts, who was in Valentine's Day with Anne Hathaway.
Yes. Remember we had to watch the trailer of Valentine's Day to
Yes. Oh
figure
yeah,
out if Anne Hathaway was actually in it or
Yeah,
not, or if it
'cause
was
I-
a fever dream.
yeah, because I confused that with the New Year's one.
Yeah.
That's what I confused it with. Oh my god, that was hilarious. And that, my friends, is what we call the Hathaway connection.
Yes.
So let's die.
I rewatched the episode when you said it looked like I had a floating head, and it happened more than once. I want you to know. I was like, I have to wear light colored shirts from now on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so let's dive into this book and movie. Oh my god, that was hilarious. All right, so Tiff.
Yes.
How do you feel John Green handled grief and illness in this story?
So I love John Green, right? We all know I love John Green.
Mhm.
So I love him because his writing style is like not poetic like a lot of other authors, especially when you read books that are talking about like grief and
Yeah.
and like trauma and illness and stuff like that. They tend to have like a poetic kind of style of writing where it's like it literally hits your soul.
Mhm.
John Green's writing hits your soul, but in a very honest and raw way. He adds a lot of emotional depth to grief and illness, and it truly does shine in this book, which I think is why this book is like his most popular and most known. And he doesn't romanticize terminal illness, which I love.
No, he doesn't.
Because a lot of times when you read books about terminal illness and like there is some romance involved, it's like they kind of romanticize the terminal illness,
Mhm.
not putting shame on Walk to Remember, but it's kind of like Walk to Remember romanticizes it. And John Green is like, definitely not. I'd rather explore like the messiness of it. And especially with Hazel and Augustus, them being so young and teens and still trying to like find out what life is about while still fighting against the odds of having life. It's like, it really is, it's super raw and I love it.
No, I completely 100% agree. So when I read this book, I did the Audible. And at the very end of the Audible, so I was like driving and it finished, right? And then, you know, when it finishes, it's like, thank you for listening to your Audible.
Yeah.
And it ended up being John Green talking at the end. And
Oh my
then it
God.
ended up being a bonus interview. So somebody did an interview with John Green at the end of the Audible. And he mentions, I believe, that I think he knew somebody close to him who had cancer or like an illness.
Yeah.
And so he used that sort of to help write his story. But listening to him talk about it after listening to the book, I think he did, like you mentioned, he did so well in telling a story about two teens going through something tragic, something that's nobody, first of all, should have to go through this, but especially kids, teenagers. going through what they're going through, and like you said, trying to figure out their life, but then that like they know they only have a limited amount of time on this earth. So it's kind of like, what do we do, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have the other guy, Nat Wolf's character,
Yeah.
his story, and then you've got like how the parents are, right?
Yeah.
Other people, and then you
Around,
have
yeah.
William Dafoe's character, how it affected him.
Mhm.
So I like that it's not in a pretty bow, that he didn't do it like, oh, at the end everybody ends up happy and everyone's better, or they live to continue. Like, no, this shit's like sad as fuck. It is so sad. But I think he wrote it so beautifully, so well done, and I definitely cried.
Say that I want to listen to that interview because I love listening to John Green talk. I don't know what it is about his
Oh.
voice. I don't know why.
It's so good.
I follow him on TikTok and I love listening. He's on TikTok, he sometimes does this thing where like he'll rant about book talk, or like not book talk, but like certain things that people say. And he's like, you guys are just ridiculous. No one cares. Like, I love hearing him. And yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
no, you have
I'm
to.
just a
It's like a
stan.
bonus. It's a bonus scene. It's
Yeah.
cool. I was like,
I'll have to listen.
whoa, every Audible should have this.
Literally. Okay, so were there any scenes that made you cry? And then in the notes, Kim put or almost cried, and I know she put that in there for me because
Yeah.
she knows I can't cry.
So, okay, in the book, I got emotional. I did not cry heavily in the book, but I did get emotional at the scene, the eulogy scene.
The pre-funeral scene.
Yes.
That's what I got. Yeah, that was my answer too.
Oh my god.
I was very close to crying.
Yeah, in the book. Okay, we're talking just the book here.
Yes.
So that part really got me, especially because I'm listening to the Audible. The Audible was it was a girl who did the voice, but she did so well that, because like there's scenes where like in the book you can hear her like out of breath. She's like from walking, and so when she's doing her Audible, it is so good. Like for a second, I was like, "Is this Shailene Woodley?" Like that's how I felt. But that eulogy scene, when I was listening to it, it made me so emotional. And I knew, because I read the book before I watched the movie, I knew when I would go watch the movie, that scene was going to wreck me.
Yeah. And it did.
Oh, yeah. But it was that scene. And then also the gas station scene.
Oh, that one too.
Listening to the Audible version of that just like broke my heart so bad.
I didn't do Audible. I read the book.
Highly recommend.
I want to
redo it
do
with
the
Audible.
Yeah, now I want to. But when I read the book, when I got to the
gas station
funeral scene and the gas station scene, I remember I strictly remember I was reading it and I was waiting to have to go leave to pick up the girls. And and I remember like reading that scene, the pre-funeral scene, and I had to close the book and just sit there for a minute. I was like,
and it makes me think, and it's so sad and scary. It makes me want to be like, I want to hear what people have to say about me. I want to pre-funeral.
Who cares if it's like people are like, oh, that's so cocky, or like, you know, that's so like self-absorbed, and it's like, no, I want to know, because I don't want to die not knowing how people think of me, because I want to know that I lived my life the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
And the way people think of me it affects that.
Yeah.
So give me my pre-funeral.
Same. I want to know. Oh my god, that scene got me
It was really the gas station scene though, and it was the gas station scene was one of the answers to one of my questions. One of the questions we'll go over later, but that scene was super, like, I don't know what it was about that scene. It was so raw.
Yeah. I was like getting so nervous when that scene was coming up in the movie, because that scene in the book like really got me.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't cry. I don't know why I'm not crying.
It's
guys.
okay.
Someone help me. Listen, for the viewers and listeners, I want you guys to just DM me all the saddest shit that you guys can find. I am just more an
emotional person.
Yeah.
Like, I could cry at the drop of a dime. Like, I'm such an emotional person. So it's just, I'm weaker. Like, I don't know how to explain.
There's nothing weak about emotions. I don't know nothing at all.
You have a stronger friend than I do.
No, listen, I hate it. It weighs very heavy on my chest, and I need to get it out. If you guys are listening or watching, please DM me all the saddest things you guys can find to help me cry. Please.
Yeah, please, because I need her to cry.
Because I need it. Okay. And the first person to make me cry, I'll give you one of my books.
She said it. I'm gonna post it on our social media.
I need to cry.
Okay, so did you connect with the characters Hazel and Augustus in the book?
As an adult, I found it kind of hard to connect to them. But when I was a teenager reading this as a teenager, I was like, yeah, I get them. I understand like how they talk, how they act or whatever. The only thing I remember when I was reading it and I remembered how I felt reading it for the first time was Hazel's like dry wit.
Yeah.
Like her humor is very like sarcastic.
Which is
she's
why
very,
Shailene Woodley
like,
is so perfect for it.
She's very like she's brutally honest, but it makes it funny. She's
Yeah.
kind of like Jason Bateman.
Yes.
As a woman. Yeah. Like, so.
Oh, I love that comparison.
Yeah. So, and I love that humor, and I try very hard to have that type of humor sometimes, or sometimes it comes naturally, but it's, yeah, I think that's the only thing that I could find in a connection to them. Augustus is like that charming, you know, witty character that
trying to see on the positive side.
Yeah. So yeah.
I wouldn't say I connected with these characters, but I felt for them and I loved their story.
Yeah.
I didn't usually when I read YA books, I found now that I connect more with the parents, the older people, you know, because as a parent and you're older, you kind of feel more for the parents and like what they're going through. However, I didn't really care much about the parents in the story. Even Augustus's family, I didn't care for in the story. So if I'm just strictly talking about Hazel and Augustus, I can't say I connected, but I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YA books I read, that we've been reading that like I can't stand these characters because they're either like whiny or they're just too teenagey and I just can't stand it as like as an adult, you're just kind of like, what are you, like 12? You know what I mean? Like you just hate like teenagers. But for these two characters, I actually enjoy them a lot.
You need to read, this is off topic, but you need to read those YA books where it's the teenagers, but the teenagers are forced to act as adults because of circumstances that they're in. I feel like you'd like those kind of books.
Those are probably more for me.
Yeah.
Because they feel here, they have to grow up, Hazel and Augustus. Essentially,
this one,
have to grow up because of their illness, right?
They have to face reality a lot sooner than
correct. And I think that's why I like them.
Normally should. Yeah.
But let's transition now into the film. So did Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort work for you as Hazel and Augustus? Because it sure did work for me.
It didn't work for you?
It did. So I like shook my head no, but I said
shook your head no, and I was like,
it worked 100%. I loved it.
It worked for me. It totally worked for me. If you're listening, I put a huge X.
I'm like this. I'm like, it works.
It works, yeah. So I think it does work. Shailene Woodley did a really good job, like especially with the humor and how Hazel's character is. Shailene Woodley, that's like her natural. I feel like that's her natural. Yeah, if you've watched her work,
minus
Divergent series.
No, I love her in Divergent series.
Yeah, but she's not really like dry.
I still love her.
Humor.
Minus what was
the American. The one where she's pregnant with.
We don't talk about that.
That show. We should watch it again.
We should.
To see. We should do
a mini-sode.
We should do Patreon episodes of us watching and reacting to these.
I would actually love it.
Cringy
actors
stuff
that we love from the actors that we heavily love based on these episodes. We should watch their like worst work.
Yes, which is that. I do love it. I feel like her scenes came naturally to her, and then with Ansel, I know that he did come off really charming, and the energy of Augustus, he portrayed that very well. So I think their chemistry just worked well. I think it helped that they worked together on previous
a ton.
Yeah, they worked together a lot. And so their chemistry just flowed perfectly. Yes. So I think the casting was like on point.
Same. Shailene, this movie, the emotions that she gives in this film like wrecks me. Her crying, her sadness,
it's very emotional to see her cry on screen. When I watch movies,
something with her eyes, she does so good. She is so good. And I don't think enough credit is given to her. She is good when it comes to emotional scenes.
She's a really great actress. I think when I watch scenes of actors and actresses and they cry, there's some where I'm like unaffected because I'm like, okay. But then there's some where it's like if they're crying, I will break.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know you don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but for the listeners that watch Grey's Anatomy, there's a scene where Christina Yang was going to marry Dr. Burke. And he
Mhm.
left her at the altar. This isn't a spoiler because this came out
Mhm.
like 100 years ago.
Mhm.
And so there's a scene where she's in their apartment that they share together. And he took all of his personal belongings and left the apartment for her.
Mhm.
And she's in there in the wedding dress, and Meredith Grey walks in with her weird walk. And Christina is just like, he left. Like, he took everything and he left. And she goes, I'm free. And she's trying to take off this necklace and trying to take the dress off. She's like panicking, and Meredith goes and helps her and cuts her out of the dress, and she's hugging her, and Christina's crying. When I see that, I have goosebumps now. When I see that scene, there's something about her crying, because Christina Yang doesn't cry. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And so when she cries, it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
She's the same girl that's like, the queen is coming.
Yeah.
From Princess Diaries. Gupta.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's her.
Mhm.
And like, just imagine
The
her
queen is coming.
crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Shailene is in that category of like, when I
Yeah.
see her cry, I get emotional. I
Yes.
don't cry, but I get emotional.
I cry.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ansel did such a good job playing Augustus. So like in the beginning or in the movie, Augustus is a very charismatic, right? Very positive. The way he like, oh my God, the way he looks at Shailene during the movie and like he talks to her, he's like, you're so pretty. The way they bump into each other, I was just like, this boy is so charming.
Yeah.
Like, oh my. And then that's what makes the scene even more emotional, because when he ends up getting cancer, when his cancer ends up coming back and his whole persona, like everything changes for him, it breaks my heart so bad.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when we just started the movie, and you see Augustus, and the first thing Jose said was like, is he gonna die? And I was like, I'm not gonna spoil anything for you.
You're gonna have to watch.
Yeah. And so when he does, spoiler alert, when he does, Jose like lost.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It is really
so
sad because you go from seeing this energetic,
This
charming,
light,
very happy,
mhm.
and then all of a sudden a coin flip, and he's just this completely different person.
Ugh.
And Ansel did amazing at that, because I
Yes.
feel like a role like that is very hard, especially on the mind, to like put yourself in this perspective of being this person and then immediately being like, okay, I'm the complete opposite now. And it's like, yeah, so sad.
I know. Go
So
ahead.
sad.
I know.
Do you have, I know that we talked about certain scenes. Do you have a favorite?
Favorite scene that doesn't make me cry?
I mean, it could be your favorite and it does make you cry. Who knows?
I mean, those scenes are so sad. It's so sad. It makes
There's
me cry.
a lot of sad scenes.
Favorite scene? I'm trying to think.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay, I see what yours is, so I don't want to say. I do enjoy that scene. I love when Nat Wolf's character is in the basement and Augustus like, can you get over here? And she gets over there and he is like so sad boy vibes.
Yes.
So depressed that his girl just broke up with
sad.
him. And the way he's like breaking everything and he's like, can I break this trophy? And like,
Yeah.
I love that scene, but
It's
I loved
so
it
good.
because of him. And then I love the side conversation between Hazel and Augustus, where Augustus is like, what the fuck is that book? And what is up with the story? Why did he end the story abruptly? Like, I need more answers. Like, and as a reader, I was like, I love this scene that they
literally resonates with
readers.
Us as a reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That scene, yes. Now that I remember, yes, that scene is so good.
That whole scene was good. I thought it was really funny. I enjoyed that scene. Anything with all three of them, I really enjoyed, which brings us to what your favorite scene was.
Yeah, when they egg Monica's car,
so funny.
is so funny. And I love it because to make it, philosophical, it really captures their youth. Despite like all of the crap that they're going through.
Yeah.
It really just shows like them just being kids, and that's kind of what you wanted for them, was to just embrace their youth. And so they're like, we're gonna egg her car. Like, they just go into and the things they yell, the way that they do it.
I laughed so hard
so
when
good.
Shailene is like, we should do this at night. And then he goes, it's all night to him because he's blind. He has no eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm blind. I can still hear. Like, I laughed so hard. And then when the mom comes out, they're like, just get back inside because your daughter is a mean girl. She's done mean things and we're going to keep egging her car. And she goes back inside. She's like,
all right.
They're like, we have cancer. Go inside.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I thought it was so funny.
It's so good. I just love that scene. Yeah, anything with all three of them is perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to talk about the Amsterdam scene, okay?
Yeah.
Did you feel that in the movie, was it magical or was it cheesy?
I think it was like borderline cheesy. As an adult, it's cheesy to me, but from a teen's perspective, it's very magical. Like that is
So, and we're
borderline
talking
cheesy.
specifically when after they meet Willem Dafoe's character, right? Okay. So when I listened to the book, that scene, it was like the whole Amsterdam, that thing was like, I was like, whatever. I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
So going into the movie, I also thought I wasn't going to care for it. But seeing Hazel have to take all those stairs to get to the top and knowing that it's a struggle for her, knowing she could like her lungs could fail on her, and seeing her do that and go through it, I actually loved that segment of the Amsterdam. The kissing at the end, I was like,
the kissing
this
at the
is
end
cheesy.
is what was cheesy.
And the guy slow clapping, the guy.
Yeah, that
one
was so stupid.
so cheesy.
I hated it, but I loved it because
Me
it was
too.
funny. The
Because
stare
they do
thing,
it, they do it in the movie, and I didn't know if they were going to do it in the film. The clap, and
in the book they did it, and
that man clapped for days.
He really did. The stairs, though, yes, I will agree. That one, that's magical in on itself because it shows her strength.
And then the voiceover of whose house did they go to?
Anne Frank.
Yeah, so the voice of Anne Frank, every time she's trying to go up there, and then Anne Frank has like a voice, she's talking. They really did it so well in the movie. So that scene I liked, but yes, the other scenes that doesn't involve that or Willem Dafoe was just like
cheesy and whatever.
Yeah, it was like, this is kind of cheesy.
You're like, wow, okay, nice little montage.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
all right. Did any scene from the book feel more powerful on screen when you watched it?
Yes, a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
The gas station scene.
Yeah.
I was dreading that scene coming up, but I loved it so much. Ansel did such a good job.
He did so good.
Oh, that scene, the pre-funeral scene.
Yeah.
And then the end when Hazel is reading the letter, her eulogy from Augustus, even though that's we're going to talk about that because that's comparison.
Yeah.
And then also, so pretty much any scene where they hardcore cry. When Augustus dies and they go into Hazel's room and she's laying there and she fucking cries her heart out and any sad
so
scene,
emotional.
any sad scene that happened,
scene.
It did so well. That was, I loved it all.
I don't have much to say because you pretty much said it all. I think the gas station scene was the top of my list, though.
Yeah.
When I knew it was coming in this on screen when I was watching the movie, I was like,
I know, I didn't want to see it, but
so I watched it, and then he's falling apart, and he's just like,
I know.
And I was like, oh, baby boy.
I know.
It's okay. I know it's not, but it's okay.
This this movie is it's one of the most truest to the book that we have. I feel like when I was watching the movie, there were lines that I knew were coming, and because I read the book, it was so spot on. Do you know what I mean? It was so.
I agree.
Exactly like the book. Like there was nothing where I was like, oh, like this isn't like everything. I was like, this is just like, I kept saying to Jose, this is just like the book. This was in the book. This is so good. The only thing that changed was kind of like the ending, but that kind of leads us into our next segment of like, let's compare.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll talk about the differences now and what we thought. So we had a missing character from the movie. The first is Augustus's girlfriend who died before he met Hazel. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I enjoy that part in the book personally because he explains how cancer like destroyed the kind of person she was. Like that scene was so hard to listen to, but I liked it because it established one, that Hazel wasn't his first girlfriend. And two, I think it's one of the most grounding parts of the book because in the book, her death affected Augustus. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess I kind of get why they didn't include it because that's just another storyline that they kind of was like, we don't really, there's too much already. We don't have to. But I did enjoy that part in the book. What about you?
I like that part in the book. I don't really mind that they didn't put it in the movie because
Yeah.
it wasn't necessary. But if they did, it kind of would have this like symbolism of like, you know, a full circle kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have made sense. They could have probably touched on it. I don't
Like a
know.
conversation.
Yeah, something like that. But I didn't mind that they didn't put it in there. I did like it in the book though, because
Me
it helps
too.
you kind of understand Augustus more.
Yeah, a deeper
So,
layer, right?
yeah,
Because you
of
have the
something just new.
charismatic character, and then now you're kind of peeling back that layer and just
Yeah.
finding more information about him.
Yeah.
A difference I wanted to note was the letter from Peter Van Houten.
Yes.
So in the movie, after Augustus dies, Peter Van Houten simply hands Hazel the letter after the funeral, as opposed to the long chase Hazel goes through in the book to track it down, right?
Yeah.
So in the book, she looks at his parents' house on his computer before Gus's father tells her there are some torn out pages of a notebook that's missing, right? And after having no luck finding them, she decides to email Peter Van Houten's assistant to see if Gus sent the pages to their favorite author. And as it turns out, Gus did send them to Van Houten, and she emails the attachments to Hazel to read. That's the movie, or that's the book. So she does like a full chase. Like there's a
She does a whole thing. There's like a chapter or two about her trying to find these letters. And I like that they just did it in the movie where he just kind of gave it to her, because that would have just added too much in the movie.
And then
I feel like
in the book, he shows up in the book, or in the movie. So in the movie, Willem Dafoe's character shows up at the funeral. And first of all, I love that scene because it mimics the book exactly, where he's like standing behind her and he's like, "It's a load of crap, huh?" And he's like, "We have to fake pray now." Like that's exact line from the book.
Yes.
So when he goes into her car, I love her reaction, and she's just like, "Get the fuck out of here. Like you are cancerous yourself." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he hands her the letter, she like crumples it up and she like throws it. She's like, I don't want to read anything you have to give me. And then she has a conversation with, what is his name? What is Nat Wolf's character's name?
His name is Isaac.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she has a sit down with Isaac, and Isaac's like, "Did you ever read, what he wrote you?" And she was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, he was pretty persistent to give it to you because Augustus wrote something for you." And that's when she's like, "Holy fuck." She runs back to the car and she reads the eulogy that Augustus wrote for her.
Yeah.
And that part, I cried so hard at that part.
That is actually really sad.
And then, excuse me, at the very end, when he's like, "Okay, Hazel," and then she like, and she's like laying down and she's like, "Okay," I like lost it.
I got goosebumps because that there's something very odd about that. Just those words.
Oh my God.
Okay. And people meme it all the time. Okay.
Oh
Let's
my
just say
God.
that is like a huge meme. When this movie came out, everyone was like memeing about it. But in reality, if you really truly read this book and watched the movie,
there's more.
It's so emotional. Just them saying okay.
Yeah. It's there always.
It is there always. Sorry, there's like someone's car alarm is going off.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's emotional.
It's there always.
Also, I don't like the fact that this book has a mini. You know what I mean?
What is that?
It's a mini, it's a page, right? The pages are bigger than the cover. I just want to throw it out. It's been bothering me all day.
Yeah,
when I read it, I hated it.
Why is this the way it is?
I kept playing with it, and I was like, this is irritating.
Oh,
anyways,
gosh. Okay.
All right, so let's rate it, shall we?
We shall.
Your opinion, which one was better, the book or the movie?
The movie.
Oh, I thought the book was better. I like the book because I don't know what it is. Sometimes when we do these, I think about like how I felt when I read the book and how I felt when I watched the movie. If the movie's not a 5 stars for me, I'm always going to pick the book over the movie, because in the book I can act it out in my head, and it makes me more involved in the story. So unless it's like Little Women 5 stars for me, I'm not going to choose the movie.
How interesting. I loved the movie because the
movie was amazing.
I actually cried heavily in this movie. Heavily.
I can't say the same.
My eyes were puffy the next day. That's how heavily I cried. I should have recorded myself crying.
You should have, because I didn't cry.
So for me, it was the movie. However, I would like to say that the book and the movie are very similar.
Yes. No, they are 100%.
They're down to the lines.
Yeah.
They are
the conversations.
If you read to the point where Isaac was out there making out with his girlfriend and groping her boob, that's exactly like in the book.
Yeah.
And I died from laughing because I was like, this is such the book. That is so Isaac.
He totally did that in the book.
He totally groped her boob. Like, yeah.
Jose's like,
yeah. Like, it's so identical to the book, minus one or two things, but
those are so
it's
minuscule.
a very good adaptation.
Yeah,
So
I agree. This
very
is
much,
one of the truest.
Yes. I very much enjoyed the movie.
How many stars did you give the book?
I give it 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I gave mine. I gave it a 3.5. I feel like if you had asked me when it came out,
2012,
if in 2012, 2013, I would have been like, this is a 5-star read.
6
and
out
you
of 5.
can't tell me otherwise.
Oh, God.
And now I'm like, yeah, this is a good 3.5.
And how many stars would you give the movie?
I would give it a 3. I don't know. I feel like I need to rewatch it when I'm not emotionally guarded and scarred.
Yeah. Listen to the Audible.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I'm gonna give the movie a 4.5. And I'm really upset that it took me this long to watch this movie.
I remember watching it when it first came out. I watched it with Katie at her house, and I think I couldn't take it seriously when we watched it because me and her just make jokes of everything.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? I think I never watched it back then because at the time I did not like Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know who Ansel was, so I was like, why do I want to watch this? I don't want to
watch.
Like,
I don't care about these people.
Sick people. I don't want to do anything like this.
And now you're like, I love Shailene Woodley.
Give me all the sad sick movies. I rate it very high. Like, it's not one I would love to keep watching because it makes me sad every time. But if it were to come on, I would watch it, and I would heavily tell people to watch this movie.
I feel like the more we do this, the more I understand, like, like, the way that you watch, like, the stuff that makes you cry is so normal, like, not normal, but people cry over those things and it makes sense, like The Fault in Our Stars. I can't cry. I didn't cry in The Walk to Remember. I didn't cry in Fault in Our Stars. I didn't cry in
Perks.
There was, like, a lot of movies where you would think we'd cry and I didn't. I cried when, like, the hobbits died.
Okay, so when we do your episode in August,
I'll be crying.
Okay, that's
and
fine. And
I
that's
cry.
you.
Like, I cry at, like, weird stuff that doesn't
that
make
you don't
any
think people
sense.
would cry.
Yeah, that people don't cry about, and I'm like, I think that really tells the listeners who we are. How different we are.
I literally feel like if people sent us recommendations, they'd be like, Kim, you will cry at this. Tip, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Or somebody will be like,
don't even pick this up.
Somebody will be like, Tip, you will cry at this. Kim, this is not for you. Like, I feel like at this point,
like, I cry at, like, in romance novels, I cry but only when they're not meant, they can't be together.
Okay.
That's the only thing that makes me cry, truly. And then you are like, I cry when one of them coughs. Like, I don't know.
I hate you. I cry
when they breathe.
Yeah, like when someone says I love you, I cry.
Yeah, like you cry. You really do. And I'm like, why are you crying? Like, I cried in Little Women, but not when the sister died. I cried when Joe was upset that women are treated poorly.
I cry.
Like, I cried in that scene. Like, the sister died, and I was like, that's so sad. And then I see Joe having her monologue about women, and I started crying. And I was like, this is so emotional.
That's okay.
But you cried.
What?
It's just, I don't know. It's just funny to me.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to do a segment where we're like, where did we cry?
Let's rank it.
Let's rank it. Okay, where do you put the book? So right now you have Perks number 2, which I also have Perks at number 2.
Yeah.
And I honestly think this one is number 1 for me.
Oh my God. I'm going to put this one at 3.
Okay. So stars. Stars. I already know how I feel about Paper Towns.
I already know Paper Towns is going to be my last pick.
The 5 Feet Apart is my wild card.
That one, I feel like I will cry.
Okay.
And I think it's so stupid, but I think I will cry or at least get more emotional with that one because of Cole Sprouse, because I grew up watching him.
Oh, yeah.
And so seeing him on screen play a very sad role is going to make me emotional.
Oh my God, I love him in Riverdale.
I haven't seen Riverdale, but I love looking at him. So
You have not seen Riverdale?
No, I haven't.
That is on my cycle of shows that I rewatch.
Listen, I want you guys to know, when I tell you I hyperfixate on things, and I really do, I do. I can't go out of my element.
Hopefully, after you watch 5 Feet Apart, you're going to get on a whole... Okay, so earlier in our interview, we talked about what's his name from Riverdale.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
He plays Reggie in Riverdale.
Yeah, he's the hot
Asian
one.
guy. Yes, that's sign number 1. Sign number 2, we're talking about Cole Sprouse. Hello?
I love him.
Please watch it. It does get like super weird near the end.
Yeah, I heard towards the end, it's like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it gets really weird. But once you get to you'll know when to like stop watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like season 4 is a good season, but you have to watch it. Hello?
I don't know. I can't.
Hello?
Is he in it?
Cole Sprouse's dad.
Oh.
Girl.
Talk about both at the same time. I hate it here. I hate it.
He is. Oh my god.
I can't watch it yet because right now I just
obsessed.
started watching Animal Kingdom.
What the fuck?
On Prime. And what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What, have you seen it?
No.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's about 3 brothers, 4 of them actually, 4 brothers and their mom, and they like rob.
Okay.
They're criminals, but they do it like, and yeah, it's like weird, and then but they're also good. And
you have to watch this show.
It's like 5 guys.
Oh god, 5 blondes and a brunette.
It really is.
Yeah.
There are 5 blondes and 1 brunette.
Oh god, I cannot even with you.
Okay.
So please watch it. Thank you.
I will. I'll watch it and I'll let you know.
Oh my god. Cause like Cole Sprouse, okay, so you've never seen it, but Cole Sprouse is like super emo.
He's the
would love
weirdo.
He's the weirdo.
Yeah, he plays Jughead, right?
Yeah, he's so good as Jughead. Oh my god.
I like the comics.
Yeah, so I think you'll like it.
But the reason why I don't want to watch it is because I feel like I'm not gonna, because I like the comics, I'm gonna be like, this is not.
No, don't compare. Just watch.
Okay.
So let's rank our movies.
This one I'll put it a 3 as well.
Stars. I'm gonna put this out. I don't know if 5 Feet Apart is how much I'm gonna love it, but I truly loved this movie.
Well, think about it, because the hating game was our wild card, and you loved it, and you left a space for it, but I think you left it in the wrong space, and you're like, I hate that I have it here.
Okay, I'll put Stars at 2. I think I really might enjoy 5 Feet Apart.
Oh no, but then what if you hate 5 Feet Apart and you have to put it? You have to put Paper Towns first.
No, Paper Towns is going to be last.
It's going to be the last one. I know it too. I can't.
I'm going to put, okay, because I love Cole Sprouse. I love the girl. I love the soundtrack because I love Andy Grammer. I love Justin Baldoni. I don't care what anybody says.
Justin Baldoni. Listen, we are a Justin Baldoni podcast.
How can this movie be wrong? So I'm going to put Stars at number 2.
Okay.
I love how Stars is number 2 for me and Parks and the Wallflower is number 2 for you. It's flipped.
I love that movie.
I guess.
I just didn't cry. I feel like if I were to rewatch it, maybe without like the girls, I have to watch movies alone to cry.
I understand.
Like cry in front of people.
I cry and Ezra stares at me and he's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Yes."
If I'm crying in front of people, I've lost it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so before we close out, we are jumping into our ARC Corner segment where things are about to get exciting.
That's right. In this segment, we shine a spotlight on an author and their upcoming or recently released book. And this week, we're doubling the fun with not one, but 2 incredible indie authors you won't want to miss.
Each of us have an arc to share. And trust me, you'll want to hear about all of them. So first up, this Wednesday, we are sitting down with Shannon Carrs, the author of Delay of Game. And it's a heart-wrenching, unforgettable story that will have you on the edge of your seat, crying and begging for more. When I tell you, you will be wanting more, you are going to be wanting more.
Hashtag Sully.
Yes.
That's how I feel. And don't forget about Friday. I have a special one-on-one interview with the author Megan Kay, where we are taking you on an epic journey through her debut series from Stardust, which is book 1, and Stardust and the Kingsword, which is book 2. So if you love a good fantasy adventure, you don't want to miss this. I'm talking, let's do Hook from Once Upon a Time meets Will Turner from... I'm so sad that you missed out on this episode, Tiff.
I know.
It was your loss.
I hate
I
that.
even said... I said
hate that I missed it because
I said this is her loss, and she's also a Grey's Anatomy. That's her favorite TV show. You would have vibed so well in that episode.
am upset that I missed it, but yeah.
You have to listen to the episode.
I will. Trust us. Trust us. Okay. This is one arc corner you definitely don't want to skip. So look out for those episodes coming up.
Yes. And with that being said, that wraps up our episode about The Fault in Our Stars.
Yes. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Official Page to Picture to keep up with everything book related, movie adaptations, and more.
And on our Instagram, you will find our link tree, which includes all our podcasts, guest signups, and our new merch that we just launched.
Yep. And so, yeah, this was a fun episode. Very chaotic.
I don't want to do paper towns, but yes, this is a
I don't
very
either. Paper
chaotic
Towns is
episode.
going to be a funny episode. I can already tell because of how much we're going to have to say about it. So next time, you guys are going to laugh harder than you probably laughed at this one because this one's a little bit much.
This is a very chaotic episode. I have really enjoyed myself.
Yes, so did I. All right.
Now I'm going to go listen to Someday from Zombies.
I hate you. All right. I'm going to go watch The Hobbit for the 80th time today. So,
Bye.
Bye.